Still having issues with the Yamaha Minidisc Multitracker. I did have a little go in another video which you can watch of me trying to fix it the previous time, but it looks like we're going to have a go at it again. And you know, this is something that you might have to do if you've taken the eBay gamble on a used multi-tracker, which is basically you got to take it apart and find out what's wrong with it. But the multi-trackers can be a really good source of a cheap budget audio mixer. So if you're having problems with this one, it doesn't matter whether it's a cassette or a mini disc, you can still do this same sort of servicing tips on any of them and hopefully bring it back to life a little bit. So we're back with the MD8 because it still has issues and yeah, it probably needs another little teardown. So at least this time you'll be able to see an actual full teardown. The stereo out is going to go into a speaker and hopefully I'll be able to actually show you the issue. But it's intermittent, and I think I've isolated the issue because I think it sends all the signal for some reason through the low pot, and I'm not sure what this poor thing went through before. Again, it's a little bit of a janky setup, but this is going to enable me to be able to tell. We've got the main output of the SSL feeding into each channel. Right, so I'll set them all to like a standard volume. The MD8 does have really fussy group trackings here, so I will pan left and right here. No. So you can twizzle these round and see when you start to get a bit of signal. So there's definitely something up with the pan and the levels on here. Mic, nope, nothing. Now you can hear it's very, very quiet. That's only one channel as well. See? Only one channel. So you can repeat this for each channel, just take your audio source and hear it. You'll be able to hear because you'll know exactly what your source should sound like, so you can check for distortion and things. And if you actually want to get specific, you can use an oscilloscope to check the frequency response, which I may show in another video. Okay, the voice from above says this is actually a good thing to do anyway, because just by twiddling the ports before you even clean them, it will break up some of the rust and it might solve your issue. So I think that's a really basic sort of diagnostic. So what I can see from it is that we may have lost signal from fader 1 and 2 is not coming through at all, which is why when you switch from mic to line in, which can then be controlled by the faders, there is no signal getting through at all, so it's been blocked, and that's why it works without that. These low row pots here are absolutely buggered, and as you can see, the whole board kind of deforms because it is probably just built like this, but also, yeah, it's obviously had a bad drop. And then on these pots, really bad contact here. This whole line is just gone. So if you accidentally touch that whilst you're recording. So she's going to have to come apart again, but at least you get to see a full, you know, dissection now. We're going to give everything a nice little clean and pots with these. We're going to see whether we can bring it back to life properly. But it would be nice if everything worked, wouldn't it? So let's get her apart again for the third time. We're at the round table. We also have this little baggie here full of all of our little trimmings that we lost last time. This is the stuff we lost. So you can obviously see that, you know, where it had been dropped, this was shorting on something else. This was also shorting. So when you push this down, it probably just needs a little bit of maybe some support. Might put some bit of plastic there or card. Do this a lot more quickly, but at least I can get it on camera. So if you're also wanting to do it, you can do it yourself. Off like this. Oh, lovely jubbly, lovely jubbly. Because I'm an idiot, I'm going to have to now take this off and reattach those screws up there. So do not unscrew these, because it will just free float in there and it's an absolute pain to get back on. Where this board has been damaged previously, the power supply on this is also just not very well attached. Here you've got your mini disc arrangement. Do not touch this. This is like magic and they don't make them anymore. This protects it from dust. Gently come back around and slot you back nicely in there. So you're happy, okay? You're really happy. What do you want? You can have that. This is the main board, and there is lots and lots of different little things. So these are all lovely little pull tabs, so these will just come straight out. And you want to make a note of how everything looks. Now this is a really cool, it's actually a very cool design, heatsink for these IC chips here. I mean, once all the ribbon cables are out, you can kind of see what you're doing, like where they go, because you can see the relative length. So that's a good way to do it as well.
You should be taking pictures though.
She just comes up really nicely. Back, front. You've now got a grounding wire here, which just gently comes off, and that's attached to the actual Minidisc recorder itself. Now if all's well, this will just pop straight off, and you can dismantle, you can take out these jumper wires here. Here you can kind of see the routings for the various parts. If you felt like you had a bit of a loose connection under here, you could have a look over here. So we've got the inputs at the back, and this is the main fader board. Now this is the issue that we're having. Cracking and absolutely filthy. It is absolutely filthy all along the sides. We're going to go at it again with some isopropyl, just in case.
Really tedious, but it's important, because if there's any little bit of conductive material in there, it will just cause the audio to drop out, or you'll get noise or anything. So
yeah, it's definitely one of the more finickier boards, I have to say. And now we have access to our pots and faders section. Now if you have more room, obviously do better job than I am, but it's sticky as hell, so someone's obviously spilt a drink on it. This is all snapped off here. We may even have some new damage here. Let's see, where did this come from here? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. So the thing is buggered. I mean, they are all absolutely filthy, and there's a crack running through it, and it might not be savable, but at the very least I can give each one of these a proper clean. You can see on that one how dirty it is. So we're gonna give it a clean, hope for the best. Isopropyl, and I'm just scrubbing absolutely everything I can see. One. That is there to protect that mechanism, and you really don't want underhand little bits going to it. So if it works, it works, leave it. I don't think this can survive many more servicing runs. We're running out here. I mean, it's we're gonna make a mess. This must have been used outside or something. I don't know. backwards and forwards.
These grip buttons were really sticky as well, so I gave those a little bit of a clean. And the actual grouper sign buttons on the side as well.
The coolest thing is once you get a bit of Servasol down inside the contact, it will start to clean kind of the outside bit as well. So you kind of have a bit of a free ride for the sort of like 20 minutes it's working, or 5 I guess. You have a nice little chance to just clean the outsides if you're bothered. Again, avoiding the Minidisc mech. So we have these, let's put these back on. And we've got these. Just to lastly do, you should only use fader spray, but I'm going to use the tiniest little bit of Servasol in these 2 faders here, because I know they don't work properly. And like I say, I don't want to keep having to take this thing apart because I'm not sure how many times it can take. Boring, very, very boring, but probably best to just quickly go around with a bit of isopropyl and try and mop up a little bit of the contact cleaner that we've left behind. I would probably say it's always good to do like a proper first job and then you can be a bit lazier afterwards. So that's all good, vaguely, roughly. Now we're gonna have to put it all back together. We took good pictures, so it should be fine. As a side note, look at these lovely Sony chips that handle the A-track conversion for the Minidisc. It's cool. It's interesting seeing a board with this many actual ICs on rather than, you know, transistors, which is the only other thing I'm used to. She's all good.
Double check, double check.
We come to a little bit of the architect's wager from the Matrix. As in, there are levels of survival that we're willing to stoop to.
Because I can already see on the front.
We've lost some fader depth. The whole left side. The only thing left to do is to give it a little test. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just make it worse. And the stereo field appears to be working. Okay. So let's do 2 and 3. Yeah. Is slightly louder. But let's pan it now because that's what didn't work before. Yeah. Now all the way to the right. 4 and 5. That's much, much louder. Why is that much louder?
Right, so now 5 and 6. Left stereo. Actually 6 and 7. And so panning is working again, which is nice. And one's louder because that wave weren't selected for line. So we'll come back out. Okay. 7 and 8. One left. One right. So channel 1 is still dead. Deader than dead, deader than dead. That's a compressor right there. Look what it's done to the sound. Yeah, that could actually be a bad cap. We've got like 3 extra channels back, so I'm a happy boy, and I hope you enjoyed. Sorry it was a long one. I just thought I'd show the whole sort of teardown. If you're trying to fix one up yourself or something, just shoot us a message and or drop us a comment, and I'll try and help as best I can.
It's always a funny thing when you take the eBay gamble, and you know, this is a Minidisc one, but the same thing applies to the cassette ones as well. They're generally always going to have a mixing board, and you might need to just give it a little bit of a spray. Hopefully you won't actually have to, and just by twizzling it all and working it out, it will remove that slight little layer of oxidation anyway. I hope that you find this useful, and if not, you've got to see a nice little teardown of a beautiful old machine. I have to say, Yamaha really did put a lot of love and care into this machine, so hopefully it'll last a bit longer so I can use it.